Hi, welcome. Maybe there was an intro before this. Maybe there wasn't. Anyway, yeah, I host this,
Excuse me?
and
I freaking host this.
well, what do you mean? I mean,
We
we host
host this.
this. Oh God, needed to do it at least once.
Ugh.
It's the debut, yeah. It's the first episode with a name.
Oh, God, I'm
with
gonna
a
go
podcast
cry.
name.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go cry with my head in the toilet bowl.
Oh,
That ain't
there's
it,
some.
Chief.
I have so many thoughts about that, and I think that's what we should start with.
I have a single
Do you?
thought, pain.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But that's not the only thought because there's an implication. I think with it, like, there's people that genuinely do this, like stuff like this, like this. They just go all in and they unironically do these things because they think it's cute or it's fun.
I
And we
know.
sit here and we think it's painful and cringe and they should stub their toes for doing it. And honestly, I don't know. Is it just terrible cringe? I mean, we find it cringe, right?
But why is
It's
it so
something that
cringe?
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know, but it just feels so put on and fake, I guess.
Yeah, but like maybe it's a problem with us. Maybe our sense of cringe is just like when you just have a broken measurement
Yeah,
instrument and it's just showing you absolutely bad values. Maybe that's how our feelings work in that matter.
maybe. I
But
mean,
that
I
reminds
also
me of
know.
the award show that I went to. You know about my
Yeah.
award?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have an award?
Yeah.
Wow. What is it? Something big, or is it like you participated in high school sports?
Yeah, I wrote an essay once.
Wow. Look at Miss wrote an essay over here, putting us all to shame.
It's just that when we went to this award show, one of the moderators made a team that was on stage before us actually do the thing where they all put their hands on their award and then they raise them up at the same time and they cheer.
Oh yeah.
And
That just feels like corporate bonding exercise bullshit, kind of. It feels
corporate bonding.
so. Yeah, it feels a lot like have you ever seen that? Like Walmart does that thing where a bunch of Walmart branches, depending on your manager, I guess, they will make you do like the Walmart shuffle or whatever it's called. They will do like a hype up exercise before the shift starts and everything has to do it. Everybody has to do it, I mean.
What is the
And
Walmart
it's
shuffle? Like does it actually have that name?
I I don't remember if it was the Walmart shuffle or if it's another chain like Target.
There's a song called the Walmart Shuffle that I'm finding when I Google this.
Yeah, no, then it is the Walmart shuffle. Yeah, and
Oh my
there's
god.
genuinely I've heard horror stories. I've seen videos of them doing their little motivational things, and it's just painful. And I've seen a video recently of a Best Buy manager doing backflips for his team because they requested it, and it motivates them for some reason.
Mm.
So he did like a backflip and a push up and then another backflip. And that was, I don't know, for some reason that it needed to be shared and people liked it. And it's just so awkward. Uh, I don't know. It has the same energy as us going, I host this. No, I host this. No, we host this. That's the same energy.
It really has the same energy. And also the name of the act that made the video, like the Walmart Shuffle, is by
Yeah.
Sparkapella.
Oh, God. It sounds absolutely awful. It sounds all of that. Sparkapella, the whole thing of doing these things cutesy and all that crap, it all has the vibe of I invited a magician to my children's birthday, and that's the act they put on. That's what it feels like the kids entertainer, basically.
Yeah,
Or
they're not
any
a real
entertainer.
magician. That's the problem. I
I
wanted a
knew
real
somebody
magician.
I knew somebody that used to go on cruises with old people and stuff and kids, and they would be an entertainer on a cruise in summer. And they would also do that, basically hype up people and be this weird put on happy that is also kind of weirdly cringe if you're not like that, right? I remember when I went in, I did acting for a year in school. We even had a play and everything, and all the warm up exercises you do basically are also like that.
God, I heard
You
Walmart exercise instead of warm up because I'm just brain ruined right now by this whole thing.
But all of that and all of those things that people do, right? You and I both are the type of person that cannot do them because we feel too cringe doing it. But for some reason, being able to confidently do those things is something that is like a show of power or something. Like
Yeah,
in
maybe
acting, it's
that's
important.
the thing. Maybe all of these people who do this stuff that we're too cowardly to do because we think they're too cringe, they're superhumans, the Ubermensch. Not wait, Uber
Yeah,
mensch, yeah.
that's what Hitler wanted. Yeah, that's what Hitler's goal was. That everybody
Hitler
does
just
the
wanted
chicken
an
dance
Uber.
unironically. Yeah, Hitler was like, everybody in the concentration camps. He was like, "You're all not cheerful enough. You have to do the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the Pizza Hut dance now." As if they were not tortured enough. Yeah,
Oh my god.
that was their agenda. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also, I like
yeah,
the suggestion in chat to make a podcast segment, call it Ancapella, and sing during that time.
yeah. Also, yeah, the
Just
Holocaust
sing
was
more poop
horrible,
on me.
and we should never forget about that. I didn't want to make light of that.
No, it's fine. We remember it by joking about it.
Yeah,
That's still one
I
way
guess.
of maintaining awareness of what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I was also bullied in school, like and high school. So I guess that's another thing of I don't want to draw this attention to me that makes me so targetable. But that's also a reason why I feel like recently I've claimed that more, the attention, because I feel like there's power in being cringe and not caring about it. I actually think it gives you power.
That's true. I think so too. But at the same time, I don't want to be cringe because it hurts.
Well, I don't know. I start my new job soon, and I'll see how I'll fare. Maybe I'll have to cringe a bit
The thing is there
to
power
be
in being
confident.
cringe confidently, or is there power in being, I hate cringe, I'm not gonna be cringe, I'm not going to put on this act for your entertainment, fuck you. I'm more comfortable not being cringe.
Well, in a way, because a lot of, I think, because of how people work when they are doing things that are uncomfortable and you join them and you are also kind of joining and doing the cringe, I think you bond and it reinforces your relationship and therefore your network in allowing yourself to join in the cringe. Like if your colleagues are doing a party and you join in the conga line, you know, even though it's so painful and cringe, you still bond and gain something by doing it. Why do we
Yeah,
have
it
to
is a
cringe?
thing of that you can laugh about together or like be cheerful together. That's true. Otherwise, you're just gonna be the grumpy outsider that nobody likes.
Yeah, like I'm so worried about going to a company get together thing and everybody is like, we are gonna play something and we are gonna do a silly thing, and you're like, I don't want to join because I don't want to feel so weird. It's like, yeah, I've been in that spot a bunch of times.
You know what it is like for me whenever I go to a thing and people want to do something together, it's playing Mario Kart or something. And I don't like playing that. So I'm just going to always be the weirdo who just doesn't join in the thing.
My best buddy and I and
Or
other
Super
friends, we would hang
Smash or
out.
something.
Yeah, but
Oh
we would
god.
hang out, and his then partner didn't really play any games as far as I could, like maybe Sims. And we would play Tekken on the when it just, brand new PlayStation 3, we play the new Tekkens. And then she would join in and play when we would play. But the weirdness is this is the cliche of this is like the myth almost of the girlfriend or partner, somebody that never plays Tekken or games like that joins in and they beat everybody because for some reason, if you have no clue about what you're doing and you're so unreflected about how you're playing, you somehow end up beating everybody just by button mashing always.
I mean, I've done stuff like that too. I think I've even played stuff like even Tekken probably with people or whatever it was, or it was Mortal Kombat maybe. And I also still held up even though I never play those games, just because you can also just randomly do a combo.
Exactly. Random bullshit go. And you're not asking yourself, why didn't that work or what should I do the entire time? You just press forward and bam, bam, bam. And the other person cannot predict what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having skill is more predictable than being random.
And then you do that a few times, but suddenly for some reason you start questioning. You lose maybe once, right? Or you meet somebody that actually is able to perfectly predict or see what you're doing and react fast enough so it doesn't matter that you're just doing random things. And suddenly you have to ask yourself what you're doing. And then everything falls apart. As soon as you question what you were doing, you will never be that good again because now you're suddenly aware of your ignorance.
Damn, that's where it all falls apart. Just becoming aware of your ignorance. Just gotta stay blissfully.
Yeah.
In your little.
You gotta exploit the Dunning-Kruger as long as you can.
True.
That's the key to life. I mean, some people have reached the highest echelons by doing that. Like the former U.S. president, for example, still hasn't realized that he's incompetent, and I don't know how much further he could possibly go. But he's managed.
Wait,
by just
who?
random button mashing bullshit. Trump has become president.
Oh, right. And he might become again.
Like the master of noob random bullshit button mashing in the Tekken of life. Yeah.
When he speaks, it does sound like he's random button mashing the keyboard for words.
Yeah, there's a tiny gray little man in his skull piloting him that's just still in the same first Tekken match ever and just mashing all the controls the entire time.
Oh, he plays every day like a new Tekken match.
He literally is just noob lucking out on dodging bullets and everything. I don't know what else he could possibly achieve. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, we have a bunch of ridiculous things that we could talk about today. I just was reading about Beanie Babies, and I actually didn't know the story of the Beanie Babies craze. For me, like for everybody else, maybe this is super ancient news because, I mean, it is from the 90s, but I didn't know about this.
I think now we're at a point where most people that are online a lot and make content probably might not know about it anymore. Like, I think Zoomers and Generation Alpha probably don't know about Beanie Babies. And
yeah, but I'm not even in that generation.
I just consumed a lot of older media that was released before I was born or made for people that were older than me. So that's why I know.
Maybe. If you guys know about Beanie Babies, write that in chat. Or if you don't, rather write if you don't know about Beanie Babies. But yeah, turns out this was like the first internet craze ever, or at least so they say. I don't know who they is, but they say that.
Yeah, like the first thing that ever got accessed via the internet, I guess.
Yeah, like also the first thing that got, I mean, this thing that turned into a huge speculative market, and while also booming on the internet, because obviously there were speculative markets before that, but this one was also coinciding with people using the internet way more than before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just so weird because I also watched a few videos about these, and
Jesus, we talked about this briefly, and you were saying that you didn't know it before the podcast, basically, and then you went to.
You misunderstand. I didn't watch long videos. I watched a couple 1 minute
like
clips.
20 seconds. Okay. Okay.
No,
Never mind. Yeah,
there's an actual Vice documentary about this that I was looking for, but it's paywalled,
jeez.
and I didn't actually
Oh,
decide to
well, that's
to
actually interesting
pay
then.
for it. I would want to watch it. It's like 45 minutes long or something. Like, I'm actually interested because supposedly there's a lot of dark shit that happened because of people being so insane and greedy
Hmm.
about collecting these things. But yeah, I just saw, like, in this video, there were just a lot of moms who were very excited to go to the stores and grab all of the ones that they could grab, because it was, first of all, like something that moms were just really excited to get to for their kids, and then it became more and more a thing of more people collecting them because of, like, lines being discontinued and stuff like this. And yeah, it becoming an investment, like everything apparently has to end up for some reason. Um,
Yeah.
but it's weird, like these things. So they were made by this American businessman, Ty Warner, because he had the name Ty on labels on all of these, like hanging from their ears. You had like this heart-shaped label thing that always came with the toys, and they were just they were just sold for $5 in the 1990s, which I don't really know what it means these days with inflation, but I'm guessing, I don't know, what is $5 in 1990?
That's like,
It's worth $12 today.
yeah, what was I gonna say, like $10?
Yeah, so like $10. I guess it's not super cheap, but they were supposed to still be very cheap.
Hmm.
And they had
Yeah,
really
they're
shitty
tiny. Like,
sales at the beginning.
yeah, like most of them are just tiny. Also, I found it. I actually did find it on a Daily Motion, the documentary.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I didn't search far enough then. But yeah, these things just were filled up with some plastic beans instead of like filling, other soft filling stuff. That's why they're called
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they have like these beads in them.
Yeah,
Beans, I think,
beans.
basically.
Plastic pellets.
I had like adjacent toys as a kid, I think, but not. Maybe they actually were Beanie Babies, but I maybe owned one, at least held one at some point in my life.
You think you held a Beanie Baby?
I definitely know what it feels like. Yeah, I had toys that were filled with tiny beads.
Yeah, but that's
But
not an actual Beanie Baby, like, branded that you held.
yeah, I'm not sure. What is the tag that's on a Beanie Baby?
It says it's a heart-shaped thing, and it says TY, but
Oh no,
TY.
yeah, no, I definitely had a Beanie Baby in my hand. Yes.
What? So they made it to Europe?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing was that they were more posable because they had these beads in them rather than that filling that's more stiff. I don't know. But maybe it was also a matter of making them cheaper. And you know
Something
what?
about make holding them though. I must say, it does feel nice. It does stimulate in a way. It's almost like a stress reliever. So it's not necessary. I don't know. I think it feels neat. I don't mind it, but I wouldn't pay $20,000 for one.
I mean, yeah. Like, I don't think, like, that's the thing. I don't really understand why people get so insane about collecting some things, especially when those things don't seem like they're just some toys, like, okay, maybe they're cute, but like, why would this thing that somebody bought for $5-10, whatever, then become something that people are bidding thousands on, and often for very strange reasons, like because they it's like a version that has a typo on the label or something. Like, if you get a Beanie Baby with a typo, that's actually more valuable because that's a rare,
Yeah,
version.
it's just about it's just about scarcity. That's all it is, right?
Yeah, it kind of makes me really mad.
But now they've fallen off so hard that I'm looking at StockX, which is a website that it's so dumb, but it's a lot of people scalp Supreme and other like off-white low volume release fashion stuff and other crap, right? Supreme is the company that at some point they sold a brick,
Oh
or
God.
Misfits, that they made weird boots that are uniform red things that just, I don't know, all that crap. It always ends up on StockX for like 10 times as expensive, which is like a collector's reseller thing for mostly clothing and stuff. But I just checked and randomly saw that there's a Supreme Beanie Baby.
Oh
But
no.
the last one sold for $48, and currently there's one that's being sold for 35. That's not a lot of money.
Yeah,
So this
that's true.
even the Supreme thing of Beanie Babies is doesn't hold any value. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. And if you wonder what Supreme is, if you've ever seen someone wear a shirt or a hoodie with like it's white and it just has a red block, like a rectangle on the chest, and it says sheep or any other word in white on the red background, that's just basically a Supreme satire thing. Because Supreme just sells white T-shirts, for example, that have like red on the chest, like a red
Yeah, this
backed
red
bit of
bar,
Supreme. Yeah, it's
red
like a red bar. Yeah,
background. Yeah.
and it just says Supreme, and that makes some of these shirts be insanely expensive because they're limited release, and for some reason, the people that are behind it make it valuable. And it's not worth as much as people pay, but it's because status. It's expensive, therefore pay. I think they're also behind the drip jacket, which is a big meme thing that any anime character got to put into at some point, which is like a collaboration between Supreme and North Face or some shit, I think. I don't know. I think they're also related. Yeah. And the drip jacket goes
Oh
for like
god.
$3,000.
Oh god. Wait,
Yeah.
why is it called a drip jacket? Because
Because it has so much drip. It's just the meme name
it's
for it. It's just
literally
the
just a jacket that's like, as I'm seeing it
it's
on StockX too
yes.
now for 3,000 euros. I actually more
Yes.
than 3,000. Okay, some of them are 1,000, it depends, but they go by a lot of money. And
Yeah,
it's
the black
just,
one is the original one, and that's the most
yeah, it's
expensive.
like a
No,
puffy
that's the yellow one for
jacket.
5,000. Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow one is going
It's just a North
insane.
Face puffy jacket. Yes, you can get it without that print, which just says any means necessary. By any means necessary
Yeah,
is what it says on it.
it just keeps writing that over and over in quite big letters.
And
And
originally it cost $368 in 2015.
wow.
Yeah.
And they
And
don't
now it's
make
worth
those anymore,
3,000
right?
bucks.
So now everybody who wants to have the drip has to bid on it.
There are entire communities online. Like I know that there's at least one big community on Reddit where people look for very authentic knockoffs from China, and they post their hauls of buying stuff like this made in China as a copy. So that still exists. People get them now as bootlegs, basically.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You could very easily get a ripoff.
Yeah, yeah. If they're done well enough, they cost like a third of the original price, but they look almost indistinguishable. Yeah. They're very high quality knockoffs I've seen online of basically anything. Shoes and jackets mostly though. Yeah.
I'm
But
just
it's insane,
seeing
yeah.
Goku in the drip thing,
Yeah, that's
and
the
also
meme.
is wearing a Supreme T-shirt underneath. You see the the red bar.
Yeah.
Oh my
After
god!
that, a lot of people put other anime characters into the drip jacket too.
You can
And that
buy
was
the
popular for a
Goku
while.
drip jacket 3D model for $5.50 on 3dexport.com.
Of course. Also, that Supreme shirt, the Supreme 20th anniversary box logo, that's what it's called, the logo design. It's also tiny, by the way, the logo on the shirt. Uh, that shirt from that meme costs $1,162 on StockX right now. And the last person that bought one paid $1,179.
Just a T-shirt.
A black t shirt with the red box logo on it. That's a tiny red bit that says in white Supreme. Yeah. Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Are those just fake purchases? I cannot compute.
Some of them, just like with NFTs and such, I'm sure there are people inflating prices by selling them between themselves. I'm sure that also exists. But some of them, they are actually scarce. And yeah, I mean, that shirt cost $32 originally, but they just make so few that people just rush their stores to grab them and then just sell them for exorbitant amounts. That's Supreme's entire business model at this point, as far as I'm aware. Anything they make just gets resold for 10 times as much at least. And then in this case, like, what is this? Like, almost.
Like, I wonder how some businesses achieve this whole thing of people actually wanting to rush in and get those things and resell them, and they know that others will want them.
I don't know. With Yeezys, at least, it makes sense to me. I can explain it because it was Kanye West, and he had this huge cult following. If Taylor Swift was suddenly to release a line of shoes, I'm sure those would sell out instantly as well. That probably would work the same way. I think if you put personality behind it, it probably works way better. People like Kanye West, it works because he has a background of people associating him with like high fashion designer stuff. So people buy his shoes for $300 and everything. He had like a collaboration with Adidas.
Do you think it goes back to being comfortable with being cringe in order to be one of these designers or one of these celebrities that sells some crap?
I mean, if you want to be extroverted, I mean, no, I don't think there's the difference. I think what we call cringe is corny, like the whole parents trying to be, it's just a different vibe. But if I think back to what was his name, walking around with an anteater artist, living in Paris, that guy. He painted melting clocks. Is that the guy I'm thinking of?
Salvador Dali.
Yeah, was Dali the one that walked around with an anteater and was really extroverted?
I don't know if he had an anteater.
Was it Dali? Yeah, it was Salvador Dali who took his anteater for a walk. There's a famous photo of him from 1969 in Paris.
Oh my God, this is the first time I'm seeing this.
That's incredibly like artistic and extroverted and all that stuff, but it's not cringe, right? Are we defining cringe today?
We are definitely attempting to. I found this in r/old school cool.
Yeah, that gets shared quite a lot, I think. People really think that this is really extroverted, so it's cool. I don't know. I don't know if you can have an anteater. I don't really think that's an animal you can really domesticate as a house pet.
It's such a weird picture. In one hand, he has the leash, or it's more like a rope tied around the anteater's neck, and in the other hand, he has his walking stick.
Yeah, and he looks like almost taken aback of having a photo taken of himself, and everybody's just staring at the anteater for some reason outside the train station.
And I don't know if the anteater took a piss or if that water was already there.
Yeah, who knows? It's Paris. Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, I'm not showing. I mean, I could show you, although this is a podcast, so we try to just not have people need to see anything, but since we're here, might as well.
We're also
show
hosting this on a platform from this point on, and there probably won't be a visual element anymore, by the way.
Yeah, you only get the visuals if you're here live when it gets recorded.
During the recording on twitch.tv/Ankastasia. And it's just going to be anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Anyway. That's what they always say that. Anywhere where you listen to your podcasts. On your fridge.
On your smart
watch,
TV, on your smart bidet.
On your ankle monitor, on your cat. Anywhere.
Does your cat have a chip that is smart? So you can watch.
My cat has Wi-Fi.
YouTube on it. Your cat has Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I went to the vet and we have my cat a vaccination. They said it was a vaccination, but I know it was Wi-Fi. It's fine. They don't need to tell me.
Your cat
wink.
has developed Wi-Fi because of the 5G radiation.
Yeah. I don't have a cat yet. Okay, you'll be not the first to know, but you'll know when I have a cat. I'll tell you.
I would be honored to know.
I mean, the general listener population, all of the 10 people that are listening to this. Yeah, but Beanie Babies, wild.
Wild, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, People killed each other over these things.
Yeah. I think there's plenty of weird stories about people killing each other over inheritance and stuff like that. But yeah, Beanie Babies are probably one of the first instances of that being recorded so largely and then
Yeah.
for something so tiny and stupid. There's
And
Beanie Babies being sold for thousands of bucks still from back in the day, but I don't think anybody pays that money for them. I think that's just what they're being sold for.
yeah, I guess there are some people who still are hoping to get that like investment to pay off, but yeah, this is something that probably doesn't really work anymore, but back then it was really huge. They also
So
made
anyway, I bought some magic
teeny
cards.
beanies. Oh, it's you want to move on to talk about your fucking magic cards.
No,
Speaking
no, I
of
just remembered that me talking about
collectibles,
stupid collecting habits that
yeah.
blow out of proportion, and it just reminds me that I actually bought Magic, which I don't buy to collect though. I just bought it because I get to make a raccoon deck, and I wanna play with real people, and that's why. I
At
just
which point would you call it collecting?
if I was looking for rare cards just to own them, which I don't see me doing because I don't have money.
Also, is it still collecting if you are buying that stuff just so later you want to sell it for more money?
Yeah, that's collecting. I mean,
Because
the
then you
line
don't want to
between
keep that stuff. You want to
yeah, but
just speculate
the
on it.
line between a collector and an investor, I think, is very thin. You can collect for a while, but eventually, when it becomes valuable, you might see yourself as someone that has accidentally invested in something they will now liquidate. I mean, where's the difference there?
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
people who
it's
collect
in the
rare and valuable things.
intention. Maybe.
Maybe it's the indie intention. Yeah,
I don't get the joke. In the
it
intention.
sounded like you said it's the indie intention.
Yeah, we just made the name of a new game studio or what?
Indie intention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it would be named Indie Intention. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
in the as separate words.
No, sure. Whatever you want.
Or in the
Yeah.
as the independent.
Independent is what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yes,
I thought
Indie
you were
Intention.
thinking about that the entire time. I didn't realize that you
No,
thought in the
Indian. No,
Indian.
I literally thought you said Indian
Indian
tension.
tension.
Yeah. Welcome to Two People Speak and Don't Understand Each Other.
There's so many words you could make up out of those sounds. Yeah, we talk, but we don't listen.
Yeah, we talk at each other. The podcast where two people don't listen to each other and just keep talking. Oh,
That's how you make content.
yeah. But you know what's the opposite of collecting all that crap and paying so much money for Beanie Babies and all that? Underconsumption.
Oh, nice segue.
But I wrote this in our docket, but there's a little bit of a story behind it. For the last month or so, I keep seeing videos from a person. Oh, what was their name? I got to check. Depression.gov, I think, is their name. And it's just this person.
That's somebody's username.
Yeah, I think
Jesus.
so.
I thought you were talking about a website from like some mental health institution.
Yeah, depression.gov, all one word. And they make videos. Their bio just says a regular person. And yeah, they just react to videos that I never see on my feed itself, which is people that buy not just they have okay, so they go through their I am preparing for a hike and they begin by opening their closet and they take one of their 8 Stanley cups out of their closet because they clearly need more than one reusable cup for their water. Then they go to their water filter electric dispenser thing that holds the water. They press a button and then they fill their Stanley cup with the water from the machine. And then they grab a little purse that is for the Stanley cup and then they snap it in there. And then they have 2 more baggies in the baggie. And then they put in little wet wipes. They put in their antidepressants. They put in snackies. And they have like 30 different things just to outfit their Stanley cup to go on a hike.
Hey, don't shit on the antidepressants bit.
Well, I don't shit on the antidepressants. I mean, like, they have compartments for everything. They have wet wipes. One of them was like having little detergent stuff. When do you need that? When you go on a hike? I don't know. Or someone that was out, they were putting stuff in their fridge and sorting stuff out in their fridge to make it look like a mythical fairy forest when you
Wait,
open the
wait,
fridge
wait,
door.
wait. Wait a minute.
Yeah? What?
Excuse me. Let's first before we properly address, because I feel like properly addressing a fairy tale forest in your fridge, I think we're gonna need to take some time for that. I wanted to first ask if there's a possibility, although you talking about the Stanley Cup makes it sound like it's just somebody trying to just be to show off, but what if that person is just an over preparer?
No, that's not what it is. These videos are all made by people that will the people in the comments will write, "Oh, that's so cute. Where did you get this thing or that thing or that thing?" And then the person that makes these videos just replies to, "It's link in my bio." And then they have a
Oh,
fucking
God,
shop
buy
on
my from
TikTok.
my affiliate link.
Yeah, they are all, it's all just drop shipping. It's all
Oh.
just drop shipping. It's all just, here you can buy random crap that's cheaply produced for your thing that you will throw away or it breaks within a week, basically. And it's all overconsumption. It's basically the thing I was getting to is that this person just collects people's videos where they just show off overconsuming. They just buy all this random crap and pay so much money. And then some of them, I'm sure, barely make any money back. But apparently, there's enough of them that make money to just keep making these videos that are just, they partially seem like rage bait. On the other hand, they also just link to a store that sells all that crap. And I dare you, anybody that listens to this, to just go and, if you have TikTok, don't download it to use to do this. By the way, just you don't need
Yeah,
that.
don't
That's
don't
not
don't
necessary.
get TikTok.
If you already use it, you can check out depression.gov. Shout out to them because they just make very cynical content that I vibe with, that calls out overconsumption bullshit. And it's all just, she literally sometimes just lays in her bed and makes snarky comments about everything.
Oh God, I googled the account and I did find it on
Yeah.
TikTok.
And it's all just people getting a ton of views for some reason, just showing this, the how much money they irresponsibly spend on crap. That's all it is. And it's kind of linked to the whole Stanley Cup thing, where these Stanley Cups are just thermoses, basically, which is also a brand name, but you know what I mean. Cups that hold your water cool or hot.
Yeah,
And
can we
for
just
some
normalize
reason,
having just a not branded thermos for your
yeah,
coffee or tea or whatever? Like,
you just a beverage cold holding or hot holding device with a straw to drink it out of that is doesn't tip over and spill everywhere. You know, it's sensible owning one of those. If it helps you keep hydrated, that's great. But for some reason, whenever there's a new one that gets released, people are pitching tents outside of Starbucks and other places just to get the Stanley Cups and sell them on eBay and collect them as well, because for some reason some people need more than 20 Stanley Cups. They're literally meant so you use them and don't always throw away single use plastics and cardboard stuff. But people just buy them like they would buy solo cups or something. It's insane. It's all overconsumption, basically. And there's something else born out of this, because there's now a counter term which is called underconsumptioncore.
oh no.
And the context
They're
in
not
which I've
making
seen this,
even that into a fad, are they?
I don't know. Some people are. I don't know if it might just be mostly sarcastic and ironic, calling what they do under consumption core. Because the first reaction I had to that is, that's just called being poor. I lived my entire life being hardcore under consumption core. I'm
Oh,
the hipster of
same.
under consumption core. 30
Yeah.
plus years of under consuming.
Yeah, same. Same. I guess that but I just immediately I googled underconsumption core because this is not a term I've heard before. And also, remember, or rather Please note that I still remember that I need to discuss the fairy forest fridge.
Why you somehow?
I'm not dropping that, but I found the first Google result is an article from Elle magazine. Is Underconsumptioncore really as virtuous as it claims?
It's literally a thing that someone probably said on TikTok a week ago, and now everybody's treating it as a thing.
Yeah.
It's not really a thing. The concept of underconsumption core literally just means I don't buy a lot of stuff. I don't think people do that out of a philosophy. If anything, minimalism exists as
Yeah.
a thing already.
But there's also luxury minimalism.
Yeah, but it's still, yeah, sure. Buy few things that are luxurious, but you don't, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. You don't consume a lot, ultimately.
Yeah, but you still buy something that that is extremely expensive, even if it's in small amounts. So is that better?
Yeah. I mean, also the first video that comes up for me is Consumption core in all caps is the new minimalism? Question mark.
The thing
Like
is that
stage life.
if you were in the position to buy even few luxury goods, that would, I guess it would be better, but assuming that we lived in a reality where the people who made these goods were compensated adequately, so not like horrible minimum wage working in a sweat factory or whatever. But I don't do luxury minimalism.
Well, that's expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. To a degree, anybody should just try to be sustainable, at least. If you can afford it, buy things that are made in your country. If that's too expensive, buy things that are made in your continent. If that's too expensive, that's fine. It's if you don't have a lot of money, it's not up to you to save the planet. It's really just the rich that should get taxed.
Yeah.
What power we have is ultimately so tiny. But don't give it up. You know, if you can afford to ethically consume, then you know consider it. Definitely.
Yeah.
But and I won't hate anybody for not being able to, unless they are insanely rich. If they're billionaires, then I'm going to be a bit more scrutinizing on how they do things.
Speaking of hating things, I can also hate that fridge setup. If you tell me more about it.
Well, don't have it fresh in my mind. Well, what I remember is that they were putting everything in jars or like vases and then putting water, like celery stalks and stuff. Everything was in separate like vases in their fridge. And then they put in little.
They put food in vases? What?
Yeah, those containers they use basically look more like vases than actual containers. I don't know. That account actually allegedly thrifted more of that stuff. But then they also went and they illuminated the inside of their fridge with string lights. So when you open the fridge, the mythical forest in your fridge of vegetables and stuff and fruit is illuminated by string lights. Like what are they called? Are they called string lights? You know, the
fairy
little
lights?
LEDs on a string.
Or string? Yeah, I guess they call them string lights as well. But how is that a forest? I mean, did they just like put the vegetables in a way that
they
looked
went
like
outside
trees?
and picked up twigs and leaves and decorated their fridge with that.
Oh God! They also put random shit in the fridge.
Yes, and tiny things that look like trees and stuff. And then they have little figurines of elks and such, and put them in the fridge too. Non-edible things that are not containers or edible. They just decorate their fridge to look like, oh, I'm looking in my fridge. It looks like a tiny forest. That's sure making me feel like I want to eat delicious things, and totally doesn't make me worried that the stuff I carried inside carries gnats and other weird eggs from some bug or something that are going to hatch in my fridge. Yeah, it's not advisable. It's just bonkers. A lot of stuff is literally just made to be looked at. Like the content is also just made.
Die in there if it's too cold?
I mean, yeah, but do you want dead gnats on your butter?
No, I do not. Yeah. Also, I do not want to bother with like getting this shit out of the way to get to my food. I'm guessing that this person just did this shit for the content and then they got rid of all that stuff again.
Yeah, I assume that's all for content. All of that. I think also the overconsumption shit, which makes it worse, arguably, because it's not like their brain is so weird that they require these stupid setups to get out of the house and hike, that they have to pack up their Stanley Cup. If you bump it once, like a million things fall on the floor. Or, I don't think they do that. I think they all just do that because there's two elements, I think. One is the whole video setting of preparing a thing is kind of ASMR-y, and the audio design usually is also kind of cozy. But on the other hand, it's using tiny things to put tiny things in other tiny things. Like it's all very Matryoshka-ish, where how they set everything up, and it goes beyond that. It's like she's done with a Stanley Cup thing for herself, but now her dog also needs to drink at some point. So we open up a whole nother avenue of things that need to be put into the thing that the dog needs,
A Stanley
like
Cup for the
AirPods for some
dog.
reason in one of the videos.
What, the dog needs
Yeah,
AirPods? What are you talking about?
yeah, the person that made the video was putting AirPods in the doggy thingy for some reason. I don't even know. I don't even know. None of it makes any sense. The dog just really needs to listen to Charlie XCX at some point.
Okay, yeah,
It's a Brad Summer
sure.
after all.
A Brett
Uh,
Summer. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like either all of this stuff is completely fake, or I'm just not. I was born in the wrong age, as they
Born
say.
in the wrong generation.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, that used to be a subreddit, the wrong generation. The
The
subreddit
wrong
did.
generation.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. I just unlocked that memory. A subreddit dedicated to satirically mocking those people who, blinded by their own nostalgia, believe certain things in the past to be unequivocally better than today.
Yeah, I don't
Born in
really
the wrong
believe that stuff
generation.
used to be better or whatever. I just don't relate.
Yeah. Well, but I caught myself craving the time before the internet was broad as it is today. I crave being in little nooks and crannies in the internet that nobody ever looks in, like forums that just have their own little tiny ecosystem and not this massive everybody's on that one social media platform thing. And everybody is, I don't know, it's just tedious and
Yeah, I
exhausting.
mean, I crave that too, and that's why I prefer to just spend most of my time. If I talk to people, I talk to the people that I kind of keep hanging out with, like whether it's in a Discord or whatever group it is. But like, I find it mega exhausting to be in anywhere like Twitter or Instagram, or because it
Yeah.
doesn't lead, like, I don't feel like I'm establishing a connection there. I just feel like I'm shouting in a void.
No, I feel like ever since, for me at least, ever since Reddit, how long have I been on freaking Reddit? My account is super ancient, I think. 12 years. I've been on Reddit for 12 years with an
Brag
account.
much?
And it has changed a lot. But one thing has never changed, and I kind of blame Reddit a little bit. 4chan is very similar, I think, in how they set up their whole board. Your username, it's not like a forum usually has the left bit of every post that someone makes in response to a thread, has their avatar, their name, their rank, and all that stuff. That's how old forums are. Forums are like bulletin boards, right? Those still exist. Like bodybuilding.com is one of the biggest ones that still exists. It's how something awful used to be. All
Hmm.
those forums. The escapist forum is one that I was active on for a while too. And the setup on Reddit is your message takes up the main part, and your username is just a tiny blip at the top. So when you have a conversation on Reddit, the weirdness that happens is you don't look at the username of the person that posted before you or the person that posted after you. So often conversations on Reddit would happen where people were talking and having an entire conversation of like 10 responses, but none of them were the same people that ever spoke before somehow. There's like zero connection.
Oh God!
There's
So it's it becomes so impersonal.
yeah, it just is like an avalanche of people talking, but nobody's actually responding to a response that happened to a post they made. It happens, sure, but often it doesn't, and you don't know who even was the person you even posted a response to sometimes because you don't look at it. It's just such a tiny bit in the whole system. They changed it now in the new Reddit where you have the avatar of people, so it's a little more distinguishable. But I hate the new look of Reddit, so I use the old one. So it's the same for me as it always was. But yeah, I think that's kind of also what's happening. A lot of these social media things are just very anonymous. Twitter is a little similar, I think. You barely notice if you're speaking to the same people.
I mean, I think you do, but I guess with Twitter, what's annoying for me is that it's hard to navigate between things in a thread. Like if you like stuff gets docked and you don't like I don't know how to explain it. It's just really hard to get a good overview of the entire conversation, so you're not sure where in the tree you are. Something like this.
Yeah, Twitter is just, I mean, ever since it was Muskified, it just really just also became so much worse because now,
not to mention how many freaking ads you get. Like the every second post is an ad,
and then how replies are ordered is no longer by the most liked. It's the first thing that gets. Is that still the case? I think that's still the case. The first reply is always someone that is verified, and which just means they paid money at this point. Doesn't even mean that they were actually verified as the person they are, aka not just a random person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then it's also replies are mixed in with suggested posts, and sometimes you just cannot even tell. Oh, I'm actually no longer in the thread I was in. Now it's actually also just random crap that Twitter decided to post. That happens on other social media platforms too, and it's so annoying.
Yeah,
Reddit
like
on
you
mobile
have
is so bad as
you're
well.
looking at something, then of course you can't stop there. You have to keep looking. Look at this related thing.
Yeah, Reddit on a private browsing session without being logged in or having any extensions is an entirely different website. It's unusable. Today, for the first time, even worse, I Googled something and put in Reddit as the term. And what happened is, for some reason, now Google does a thing where it automatically appends the link you click to translate to German, but not in a way of the website is German. No, it just translates the entire content of the website. So all the comments suddenly seem like gibberish. It happened to me. I was looking for Reddit posts yesterday, I'm sure. And today, for some reason, every post that I found when I was looking for information on hard drives to buy on stuff, on for Final Fantasy things, suddenly it appended TL for translate, probably, I think, and then DE for German.
So this is something automatic that happens from Reddit side, that it just if you do a Google search, it has to forward you with a translation token for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. I think before the podcast I Googled something and it didn't happen. So I'm not sure what is happening there, actually. I'm not sure why that happens with some links. But it's the first time I've ever observed it today. Kind of weird.
So you sure you don't have some kind of extension or something?
No, I have extensions that should keep stuff from that happening on Reddit. I should not see the current layout ever. But for some reason in those links it happened because it translated as well. I don't know. I'm surprised that Reddit is still around, honestly.
I also don't know, because there's so many different things that can happen on these networks. Because now I'm looking at Twitter and I don't see the related conversations shown at the bottom. But maybe this is a desktop thing, because I think on mobile it does happen.
Yeah, mobile, everything is just worse for some reason. You get way more ads as well. I guess because of ad block and everything, just keeps you safe from some of it.
Yeah,
but
I keep forgetting that I have ad block on.
Yeah. Browsing, I don't even think I want to tell anybody to try it as a thought experiment. No, as like an experiment. I mean, not thought experiment. Keep it a thought experiment. That's what I mean. Maybe don't do it. Don't put yourself, unless you really don't appreciate adblock right now, maybe to give yourself a little refresher, browse Reddit and Twitter without adblock, and you're going to really quickly turn that back on. It probably will take less than a minute.
Yeah, I turned off my ad block and I instantly see an ad on this Twitter thread.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's already as intrusive as it used to be, and it still is on old bulletin, on old forums, where they have that's so old, but it still happens, and now it's just also on Twitter, where you get these forum posts, and one of the posts in reply to another one will be, "Hey, I found this solution to your problem," and you don't look at the username, and there's just a link. What is it? It's an ad, and the user is actually in. Sometimes it actually doesn't directly say it's just an ad, but sometimes it does. But the responses are just built-in ads that act as if they were replies
Wait, where does this happen?
on old forums that are still active. You get those.
Oh my
Sometimes when you look
god.
for conversations on stuff, you end up in forums and some of the replies are legitimately just ads that act as if they were real messages in the thread. That's older than Twitter, I think. I think that has happened for a long time.
I guess since I'm using Twitter right now, I'm also just annoyed at how they do it because yeah, at least here they're not like phrased as like replies to the thread, but you still get an ad. Like I'm looking at a thread that just has 2 replies. So I'm looking at the page for the post, not like on the like wall of posts in the main page. And there's one reply that I can see, then I immediately get an ad, then I see the rest of the replies.
Yeah, that's also great. Yeah, Reddit does this also when you're not logged in. They immediately give you an ad as well, and it feels like you get manipulated to think, "Oh, this is immediately the reply." No, this is just an ad that doesn't add anything.
Yeah, but I have to look at it.
Yeah, today was basically the consumerism episode.
Kinda.
We consumed this. I mean, you consumed this. We hosted this. That's what I mean.
Yeah, we never consume, surely. But you had more stuff on this. And this is Hamburg related. I just wanna hear about the Taylor Swift concert.
Okay,
It's
fine.
local news. It was yesterday in Hamburg.
Yeah, but also today. I didn't see anything from today though. Okay, one last
She's
bit.
doing 2 shows.
Yeah, I think she's doing 2 shows, at least if the people that I saw post to be believed. I don't know why I get Taylor Swift stuff on TikTok. It randomly came into my feed, and then I was fascinated with the whole cult following around her and how people act and stuff. And I also get stuff for Hamburg because yeah, I live in Hamburg. That's obvious, and it's just the biggest thing that probably happened in Hamburg the last 2 days. They were posting the Swifties, how they are,
Swifties.
were posting how they were going to the concert. I saw this on my phone at like 9 a.m. in bed after waking up and slowly drifting out of my bed. And they had already, that was the same day yesterday. They were already at the stadium that the concert was going to be in. And they had been there, some people have been earlier there even than 8 a.m. for a show that would take place pretty much 10 hours later.
I don't understand. Were these people from like a different town or something and they didn't have
If
anything
they
else to
were, they would
do?
have a hotel room. Surely anything is better than standing outside in the rain and waiting for a show to start.
Yeah, and it rains here very often.
Yeah, it rained yesterday. It thundered and rained a lot.
Yeah, I think somebody was saying the rain like stopping halfway through the concert or so. So it was definitely raining yesterday, but like what were these people doing? Just filming themselves being there at the gate and just
Yeah. They had bags full of food and stuff to survive, as far as I can tell. They camp out even though there's almost no need. Because I checked. I was confused, right? And I checked most seats that you get are like most tickets you get are for seats because it's a football stadium. It's the biggest stadium in Hamburg. It's the HSV, the Hamburg football team's stadium. Worse than the St. Pauli, who is the other big football team we have, who are actually arguably way better. Also
what?
in the
Are
first
you biased?
they are no, they're literally better. They are in the higher league,
Ah,
funnily enough.
but
Um,
they have the smaller stadium.
yeah, they have a smaller stadium in a nicer location, though, and it's arguably also kind of a nice. It has more character, their stadium, the St. Pauli Stadium. But the HSV Stadium, HSV Hamburger Sportverein, yeah, that's where the concert was held, and there's barely anything around it. It's very remote. It's accessible by car mostly, and other than that, there's just it's not very central at all. There's also no great parking apparently, and they were just camping out there, and I thought it was insane. It kind of a bit deranged almost. because if you had a ticket with a seat number, you could go just before the concert starts, and surely you would be able to get in. Otherwise, what's the point of hosting the event if you cannot ensure that people get in? There's
Uh,
also
but I
VIP tickets apparently, and the fun thing about VIP tickets is you get to be like front of the stage, I think, as far as I understood, to have the VIP experience and feel like you can be closer to Taylor, because you wanna look at her with your eyes and feel like you can see her and she can see you, I bet. I
look
don't
at
know
her
what
with
the
your
fuck.
eyes. Otherwise, you look at her with, I don't know,
I
your
don't know.
your armpits.
Your armpits, yeah. Yeah, sure. You look at her with your hands, but by which I mean don't grab. I mean like one of those monsters from that weird Nickelodeon show that had its eyeballs in its hands and was always holding them up so you could see its armpits. I
Oh
forgot what
yeah.
that show was called. They lived in the gutter for some reason. Yeah, I
Wasn't there
I, I
also a
fondly
movie
remember
with
that show.
that? A
I'm
monster
sure there was.
with eyes in its palms.
Oh, you mean Pan's Labyrinth? That's a
Yes.
horror movie, though, kind of about
So
the First World War, I think.
yeah, well, it's still that kind of
Spanish one,
creature.
which also is a good movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fun. The monster, the pan, and everything is so well made. But that's not the point. I want to gush over cool set design and cool costumes. Um, I love them though. I love seeing movies with that stuff, like Labyrinth. But when you have a VIP ticket and it's a standing ticket, people would go there at 8 a.m., even though they paid a shit ton of money, like $500 for a ticket, because they were afraid they were not going to be close enough to the stage. So if you're VIP, you have to be there even early.
Oh my
I don't
god,
know.
that's
It's just
kind
insane.
of contradictory.
Is it
Uh,
worth it being a Swifty and then having to be so insane that you have to stand outside for 10 hours and wait? I wouldn't do that. Okay, I would do this for some things, but not for a concert I paid money for. I would be sure I would be able to see the concert no matter what. And if I went to concerts, I would get to the front even if I was the last person to get in because I knew how to.
you
I
just
don't know.
push and shove
Yeah.
your way, huh?
I mean, that's how it's always been. If that's not supposed to be the way, then you need to make proper like categories in the floor to make sure that people can be where they pay for.
Wow, I
Yeah,
can't
and
believe you
then
would confirm that you're one of those people who shove their way in front of everything.
and if you think maybe I'm a little biased towards her in a negative way, then maybe that's true. And maybe that was pointed out by somebody in chat that just made a joke that is very apt to exactly why I don't like Taylor Swift. Her music is fine. I don't listen to it. I know people love her. I love people love her music, and I think that's great. That something gives them so much joy, and I hope they can enjoy that for as long as possible, and that they never find out anything, and she never does a Drake, But yeah, in those 10 hours, she released two more special editions of her last album. Exactly. That's the reason why I have a peeve with her because I don't know. I had a rant of it before, but she released like over 30 versions of her last album, the Something Poets Society, just to stay on top of the charts for weeks on end and push other female creators that made insanely good albums. Billie Eilish and Charlie XCX were both pushed off the Billboard top 100, I think, was it, or 200 by Taylor Swift, just because Taylor Swift decided to just release more exclusive versions that were only eligible to purchase until they were valid to push it forward in the Billboard charts. And it's just, I don't understand. For someone that is supposed to be for the girls, for the women, to empower female artists and everybody, she sure is very selfish, is all I'm thinking.
I don't really know how the Billboard charts work. Is it about just how many copies of an album
Yeah.
you manage to sell?
In that case, it was physical and digital purchases of her album. So she had like a bajillion different releases of her album that all had slight differences, or had contained like a track that was mastered different, or there was actually a different track on it, and
So
then
it's
it's a
kind of like
Taylor's edition.
catering to
Yeah.
completionists who must have every single version.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfectly on brand to our consumerism thing because if someone were Swifties are the type of people, sadly, some of them, I'm not saying all of them. I mean the ones that are really irresponsible and questionable in their following of Taylor Swift, that for some reason will buy everything she releases. And that's the nuts thing. It's like the Beanie Baby craze all over again, but they just have to possess everything Taylor Swift releases. So they will buy every release of that album. And it works. She has garnered a following that will purchase anything she puts out, especially if there's FOMO involved. And that's why she can put herself on top of the charts for as long as she wants to. Her album could be on the top of the charts for a year if she just kept releasing things.
Oh my God.
People would buy it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bonkers. She is the consumerism and boss of the music industry, kind of. She's a billionaire, and that's not ethical. Nobody is an ethical billionaire.
Yeah, I like that we really kept the red thread of consumerism bullshit throughout this entire episode.
But that's also my issue with don't go to a concert at 8 a.m. to wait in line for somebody like that, or anybody for that matter, unless it's like the dream of your life to see a person, and the only way to get to see them is to wait 10 hours.
I could not name a single person that I would say, oh my God, I have been waiting my entire life to see this person, and I'm going to go through to insane lengths to do that.
Yeah.
And also, you don't even get to have a conversation with that person. You just see them perform. Like, that's even less of a thing where you're like, yeah, I cannot wait for this moment.
I think there are some artists I would wait 10 hours to be able to see if that was the only way I would get to see them. That's what I'm saying. If I had bought a ticket and I knew I was going to go there like an hour or two before the show and I would get in no matter what, there's an act playing before them anyway, that's fine. But if the only way to see them would be to wait 10 hours, I would probably be okay with that.
Yeah, but you're describing a situation where we're talking about excitement levels and not about whether the logistics of the event are requiring you to queue up for 10 hours. That's different.
No, I get that, but what I meant is that the only way I'm going to be able to get in, like in a term of I have to buy a ticket and I would have to wait 10 hours to buy that ticket to get in or something like that. In those terms, if I buy a ticket and there's a 10-hour wait, that's bullshit. I would be angry if that was by design somehow. Yeah, I would be angry.
Yeah, but if there were no more ticket sales and you could just get one at the door and you cannot find it anywhere else, then yeah, sure, there might be concerts where you're like, okay, this is worth it. I can do this. Although it would still be a hard call for me to name what kind of acts I would be so adamant to see. I just don't think I would have any excitement like that to go there early in the morning and be so hyped. Oh my God, in 10 hours we're gonna see X perform and we're also, just gonna be here the whole day.
Like a pre-show hype. After 10 hours, I would be so dead I couldn't enjoy the actual show. Do I get it? Is that planning a 5-hour nap as well? Like, do I bring a tent to sleep in for 5 hours? Then maybe.
Yeah, like, how is it even a cool pre-show hype? Like, if you went to some other party, let's say, that I could maybe understand, but standing in a queue or outside a venue, that doesn't really sound that fun or comfortable.
I saw an article that was saying that the Swifties were partying all day before the concert too, but I don't know. I don't believe that everybody that was there waiting just simply was there to have a fun time. I think they must have been miserable. It was raining. There wasn't a fun vibe outside yesterday.
Yeah, I don't really know. Maybe they didn't even stay there. Maybe they just went there, hung out a bit, then went to some bar or something.
She did. There was a bunch of clubs that you could buy tickets for the Swift after party.
They should have made a pre-party one too by this logic.
And I think in Gelsenkirchen, where she also had a performance, I don't know if she did this in Hamburg, but I think it was Gelsenkirchen, she rented out another smaller arena just for her merch store.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I saw videos of that too. Just like a small, like, school sports arena thingy with seating.
Just so people can swarm there to buy merch.
Yeah. Which apparently was already, like, all the small sizes were already sold out really quickly from a bunch of accounts. I don't know how they manage logistics of that. Do they have an allotment for every city, how much they can sell? Because the next city would have nothing in that case. Oh. There must be so much logistics around her tour. It's going on for so long. There must be containers full of stuff on ships just to have her tour supplied through Europe. At that stage, it basically is like Metalocalypse, if anybody's ever seen that, but in real life. just an insane mega conglomerate that's basically just one person as a band, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm reading in chat about showing up 10 hours early because it's a party atmosphere and you can celebrate with other fans. I kind of get it. It's just that I would understand it more if it was a festival where there's other stuff to do as well in that time, not just showing up. I don't know. I guess. But maybe it's also because I don't connect with the hype. And also because I don't really like parties that much. Anyways, I think this is the actual end of this episode.
Yep. Well, that's it.
We should also come up with a way to end these so it doesn't sound forced.
Yeah, it's wait, it's
we need like a safe word.
This was us. Twitch.tv / Ankastasia.
I hate it. I hate when you put my URL in there.
Other places. And me, Shalama _ on the Twitters.
Also, don't put your underscore in there. I hate it when you do that too.
Why?
Because I think it's cringe.
And the underscore Shalama on Twitter as well, where you can see me today.
He keeps doing it. Yeah, put the entire HTTPS, have the secure protocol in there.
Yes. What do you mean on Twitter? It's the underscore Shalama. It cannot be less than that. That's the name. What do you want me to do, huh? Say TS on Twitter? Figure it out? Yeah,
just don't tell them about Twitter. You don't use it anyways.
I did repost something today.
Whoa, that's insane. You've done a repost?
Yeah, and this was liked by the person that I reposted it from, who works at Humble Games.
Oh no, another thing that we didn't address and we won't, but Humble
Maybe
Games
next week
shutting
when there's
down.
More information on that, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hosted this.